How's it going, everybody? Odyssey64 here, back with a new type of video on the channel. Before we get into it, I need to announce that I'm currently in the process of moving, so the content will be very sparse for the next week or so, but I promise the experience will be much better overall once I finish. However, that won't stop me from doing this video at the very least. This, as you know by the title, is a Splatoon theory video, where I find a plot hole or mystery in the game and attempt to theorize a good answer for the strange question. If you guys enjoyed this type of video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also, I'll heart your comment if you wish me a happy birthday on May 18th, hopefully when this video goes out on that day. So, thank you all in advance for your time and patience, and with all that out of the way, let's dive right in. With the groundbreaking release of Octo expansion for Splatoon 2, which later became free with the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass, you play as a lone Octoling navigating in a strange subway station. Before you start your adventure, however, you must create your character, and here we see the problem arise. How is there a male Octoling? Now, let's be honest here. This was probably added to give the player more customization options for personalization purposes, despite there being only 2 hairstyles per gender. But we can see a male Octoling before. But we've seen a male Octoling before, aside from DJ Octavio, though we only see him in his octopus form. So the question is, why don't we see more of them in the single player? According to Splatoon lore, the Octolings were formed by using the tentacles of Octarians and possibly even Inkling DNA, which would explain their similar abilities. The Octolings we see in the single player are known as the Octo Amazons, an elite strike force of all female Octolings. Now, this was also prevalent in Splatoon 1, but in that game, Octolings weren't even playable, so we assume they were all just females. However, with the Octo expansion, we can see that is not the case. Male Octolings do exist outside of just DJ Octavio. The only question is where, and that's why I plan on theorizing. The first theory I have is that there's some type of guard unit. The Octarians are experts in technology, and obviously they would want something more capable than their normal selves to guard their secrets. It would make sense that these male Octolings were guards, while the Octo Amazons go out on the front lines to confront the Squidbeak Splatoon. Think about it. They've got several bases filled with Octarians, and we haven't seen any labs yet. They're probably hiding secret weapons that they are working on, and to keep those weapons safe, the Octarian scientists are aided and protected by male Octolings. I believe this theory makes sense because we haven't seen everything the Octarians have to offer, and it would make sense that their research and development division would be hidden away and heavily guarded by the male Octolings. Personally, this isn't the theory I would think best suits the male Octarians after all. I would think that they would be much more combat driven than their Amazonian counterparts and a thirst for battle as much as they do. So my next theory is the one I believe to be true. Male Octolings are an elite strike unit. I believe this would explain why male Octolings don't show up in the single player modes. They're used for things much larger, an elite super soldier strike force used to take on frontline missions, carrying heavy duty weapons and equipment. Sound familiar? To put it in a Marvel context per se, the Octo Amazons are like the Black Widows, while the male Octolings are like Winter Soldiers. Now, I'm not going to deny that they don't have to be gender locked. After all, we see a female Winter Soldier in Captain America Civil War. But I believe that we don't see them because we're an agent. Agent 3, Agent 4, etc. An agent requires stealth, and what better way to combat such a foe than your own stealth division? If Splatoon 3 had more work on a type of front line of battle, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a male Octoling with extremely heavy armor using a massive weapon of destruction, and just when you think you got them and their armor breaks, you fight them like Inner Agent 3 from the Octo expansion for a real challenge. Obviously, it shouldn't be too hard because the story mode needs to be accessible above all things, which is why I don't mind the story mode being easy. But I believe that is why we don't see male Octolings in the story mode, because we're playing as an agent, not an infantry unit. Now, with Octolings on the surface, it may be silly of me to think that we'll go up against any type of Octolings in the future. However, many people still follow their leader regardless of what others do. Even if their sisters or brother decide to go live free lives, some Octolings are going to stay behind and fight alongside their DJ. That's just how it works sometimes. Thank you guys for watching this new type of video on my channel. If you want to see more of my headcanons and ideas, subscribing and leaving a like on the video will show me that you enjoy this type of content, and I'll consider doing more of it every now and then. This is a question that plagued my mind ever since Octo expansion came out, and despite it being unlikely, I hope Nintendo has an answer for this question in Splatoon 3. I've been Odyssey64, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Take care.